Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Microsoft Surface laptop. So this is the Microsoft Surface laptop. Now Microsoft over the past few years have released a few of their Surface products, starting with the Surface, then the Surface 2, Surface Pro, Surface Pro 3, Surface Pro 4, Surface Book. But now they've gone and released this, the first proper Windows laptop from Microsoft. So here it is, the Microsoft Surface laptop, and let's have a look and see what specs there are. So let's start with the display. The display is a 13.5 inch pixel sense display with 10-point multi-touch. The software included is Windows 10S. We'll get on to more about the 10S in a minute. Now the processor options, two options for this, both of the Intel 7th Gen KabyLake processors, the i5 7200U or the i7 7660U. So integrated storage on this, 128, 256 or 512 gigabytes of SSD storage. Built-in memory configurations of either 4 gigabytes or 8 gigabytes of DDR4. Graphics are handled by the chips. For the i5 you're looking at Intel HD Graphics 520, and for the i7 you're looking at the Iris Pro Intel 640. Camera wise, nothing on the back, but on the front facing you there's a 720p camera which supports the Windows Hello security feature. Sound reproduction comes courtesy of the Omnisonic speakers built in. These are hidden beneath the keyboard membrane so as not to obstruct the clear lines of the laptop. I/O ports on this, not a great deal of features, but the usual suspects are here. USB 3 full-size port, a mini display port, a headset jack, and obviously the charging port. Sensors on this unit are an ambient light sensor for adjusting the brightness of your display, a TPM chip for security, and to power all this, a battery which is built in, which is non-replaceable, which Microsoft say will give you up to 14.5 hours of life, which is pretty good for a laptop. Now the dimensions of this unit are 12.3 inches by 8.7 inches and with a depth of just over ½ inch. So that's the general specs out of the way. Let's take a look inside the box and see what we get for our money. So this is the box itself. As you can see, it's the current Microsoft standard packaging, which is very plain, simple, but functional and quite solid. So it's going to protect your piece of equipment whilst in transit. So this is the Microsoft Surface laptop, and it's a completely aluminium enclosure design. Which is a change from the previous designs, which are pretty much mostly magnesium. Not a great deal of flex, feels very solid in the hand, so although it's got quite a bit of weight to it, which is getting up to nearly 3 kilos, it's not going to be overly intrusive in your bag and should last up to any knocks and bumps whilst in travel. So also in the package, there's a power supply, which is the typical Microsoft Surface charger, with the magnetic connector and also the additional USB charging port built in. Also in the box we get a very Apple-esque welcome to Microsoft Surface laptop, and that is the instruction guide and electronic regulations, etc, etc. Not very interesting, so we'll stick that back in the box. So we've had a look inside the box, and now let's have a look at the laptop and see what we get for our money. So there's no odd clasps or clamps on here, just open up the clamshell and there we are. There's your Microsoft laptop. Okay, so along the top edge of the bezel, you've got the 720p front-facing camera. There's also the Windows Hello infrared camera. And there's a microphone, so if you're using it for Skype or whatever, you can use the camera and microphone at the same time. It's all there built in for you ready. Now the screen itself is a 13.5 inch display, 10-point multi-touch and a 3.2 aspect ratio. Now moving down to the keyboard, you've got the Alcantara lined keyboard, which is a kind of almost like a leather feel to it, as used in some sort of sports cars I believe it's an Italian leather. Whether that makes a difference or not, I don't know. It feels like it's been well treated, so I don't think it's going to get particularly dirty with your palms resting on it, so I don't think that's going to be a long-term problem. Longevity wise, because it's actually connected fully to the screen, there's no way of replacing it. If it does get dirty, you'll have to find some way of cleaning it if you need to. Moving on to the keyboard feels absolutely brilliant. The keyboard stroke, probably about just over millimetre, 1.5 millimetres of travel. So it feels very nice, and moving up from the Surface Book or Surface Pro 4 keyboards is definitely an improvement in the design. You've got a power button on just moved in slightly, so you're not going to accidentally press it when you're looking for the delete key. And also, if it's in your bag, you're not going to accidentally turn it on or off by pressing anything around the side. So all the on-off I/O is on the keyboard and slightly recessed, so you're not going to accidentally use it. Also, you've got a function button, which converts the top row of buttons from their Microsoft defaults, such as volume up, volume down, mute, brightness, etc. So if you press the function button, they will turn into regular F keys, F1, F2, etc, etc. The keyboard itself's got a really nice layout. This has an illuminated caps lock button, which is quite a nice little feature. Also the function button is also illuminated as well, which is a new thing from Microsoft keyboards on their Surface range. Moving down to the trackpad's got a very nice feel to it. Your finger slides nicely across it. It's a left and right click obviously, and it's got quite a large real estate, so you're not going to find yourself repeatedly trying to move the cursor around. Quite a wide range of movement on there. And the wrist rests are slightly padded, so shouldn't be very uncomfortable to type on for a long time. Okay, so we've had a look at the keyboard and the screen, so let's turn it on and see how quick it is. So pretty much almost instantly on in the display. And in a very short time, we're into our Windows lock screen. Now at the moment you can see it says it's looking for you, because I've already set up the Windows Hello feature. So if it sees my face in front of the camera, it will automatically turn itself on. Sorry, it will automatically log itself on without me having to put in any passwords. So if I just swing this around a minute so it can see me. And there we go, it's loading up. So all in all, very quick, very responsive. And the Windows Hello feature, if you have not used it before, it's actually a really good feature, and it saves you having to remember passwords, etc, etc. Moving on to the processor speed, this particular model is the i5 version with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigabyte drive, and it is model number MS1769. The processor is only a dual core processor. Individually, the processors, when I benchmarked them, each individual core is approximately the same as a Ryzen 7 1700, so pretty quick. Okay, so you probably can't see that from there, so I'll try and get some screen overlay so you can see it in a little bit more detail. But basically what we've got here is a Intel Core i5 7200U, which is the KabyLake U CPU. The max TDP is 15 watts, which is so ridiculously low for a CPU, which probably goes some way of explaining why the battery life can be as long as it is. It's the 14 nanometer process, and it is part of the Core i5 family. Speed wise, while it's idling, you're looking around about 800 megahertz, which can turbo itself right the way up to 2400 megahertz, 2.4 gigahertz. So looking at the motherboard is a proprietary motherboard made by Microsoft Corporation for the Surface laptop. So that is one of the downsides of these units. They are basically completely glued together. No upgrade options whatsoever, so it's worth spending a little bit extra when you go out and buy one of these to get the best features or the most capacity that you can straight off, because once it's done, that is it. There's going to be no upgrades whatsoever, which is one thing they've shown on various teardowns on YouTube videos, etc. This thing is properly glued together, so under no illusion this is going to come apart and be easy to put any memory in. Everything in there is soldered in, and it isn't going to come out in a hurry. Memory wise, we've got 8 gigs of DDR3, and as you can see, well, you can't see yet, as you can see from here, it's not showing any physical slots, because the memory is hardwired to the motherboard. So yeah, again, memory is never going to be able to be changed, removed or anything. So if anything goes wrong with this, that's it. Moving on to graphics, the graphics chip is the Intel HD 620, and just because I know that some of you out there like benchmarking, let's run a quick benchmark and see what we get on the CPU. Now this is CPU Z, this is the latest version at August 2017, and multi-threaded we're getting just over 876, and single-threaded we're getting 326. So not bad scores considering the 15 watt TDP of the processor. So we've had a look at the features and specs. Let's talk more about Windows 10. Now this comes with Windows 10S pre-installed on it, which is Microsoft's own cut down version of its OS, which is designed to be safe and secure and only allowing you to install applications which are in the Windows Store. Now this may or may not be for you. For me personally, I don't like the idea of not being able to install whatever I want on my machine. So for this year only, up until December 31st, 2017, they were allowing you to upgrade this from Windows 10S to Windows 10 Professional completely free of charge. After the end of the year, it's going to cost you around about £30 or $40, somewhere around that sort of price. They haven't confirmed it yet as far as I know, but that's the price is going to be roughly around that. So if you do want one of these and you get it and you don't want to have Windows 10S, there is a free upgrade path to Windows 10 Professional. So this has been the Surface 10 laptop. So what are my feelings on it? Well, first of all, I think it's overpriced, but there is a good reason for that. Microsoft have deliberately overpriced this device in the market so as not to upset their OEM partners such as Hewlett-Packard, Asus, Dell, etc., which all make their own versions of a Microsoft laptop and have done for many years. This is basically Microsoft's way of saying this is what we think our vision of a Microsoft product should be. So this is a flagship product, if you will. So if you want the best possible Microsoft experience, straight out of the box, no frills, just the pure raw Windows experience, this is the way to go. There are a few other Microsoft Surface laptop type products around at the moment, all for about £200 to £300 less than this one, purely for that reason that Microsoft are trying to price this slightly out of the market and make it a more premium product. I personally quite like that idea. The fact that they've put in a lot of time and effort to design the technology, the construction to make this premium product. Yeah, it's a few $100s or a few £100 more, but you do see a tangible difference in the quality of products. If you had a Dell machine here or a Asus machine and you started trying to take it apart or flex it, you would definitely notice bits of plastic flexing, loose panels, accessibility inside. They're designed to be repaired, and that's for a good reason because they're made to a cheaper budget. This has been made as a premium product. They don't want you to take it apart, and in theory you shouldn't need to take it apart. So for that reason, it gets my thumbs up. Okay, so this has been the Microsoft Surface laptop. Now, is this going to be the laptop for you? If you don't mind spending a bit of extra money and getting a premium quality product, then yeah, it's definitely for you. If you're slightly more on a budget and you're looking for bang per buck, then you might be better off looking elsewhere at Dell, Asus, etc. But for me, for a highly polished experience and for that exclusive Microsoft signature kind of look and feel, this is the way to go. It's very, very quick in use, considering it's a very low TDP processor. It's extremely quiet. If I had my Surface Pro 3 on here, you'd hear it roaring away like a rocket. This thing is pretty much silent. I haven't heard a thing from it. So if you're either working late or you don't want distraction or you're making YouTube videos, this is probably the way to go. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. That's enough from me. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. This has been the beautiful Microsoft Surface laptop, and we'll see you again in the very next video. Thanks for watching.